Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, Tomcat Stitchery. I'm Whitney and today we're going to talk about sewing our holiday gifts. Okay, so today, well I guess, let's see, week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago now, somewhere around there, I did a meet and greet at University of Sewing down in Bloomington, and we talked about holiday gifts that you can sew for your loved ones and about personalizing them and all that kind of stuff. And while the meet and greet went, we did a lot of Q&A session. We did a lot of shopping together. We had the whole place closed down just for us. So it was really more of a day of just to sit and talk about sewing with people that were like-minded. It was a whole lot of fun. I really enjoy doing those, and again, plan on maybe trying to hit a couple of other areas and travel and do some more of those kind of things because I love meeting you guys face to face. It really fills my cup. But I thought that it would be good because there's so many of you that aren't able to travel that far and that sort of thing. But I thought the content was really good on holiday gifts we can sew for our loved ones. So I wanted to share that with you all today as we're getting into that mode. But before we get into that, so we're in the beginning of November, and I'm coming up on my 1 year of sewing on my Bernina 770 QE, and the deal with getting that loaner machine was that I would sew on it for a year, and then it would be up for sale as a used machine for whoever wants to buy it. So I just wanted to let you all know we are coming up on the year, and the machine, which is just been an absolute delight. I have really enjoyed sewing on that. Plus the embroidery module that I also got with that and have been kind of playing around with and using. All of that is going to be for sale, and I'm going to link Margaret and Dave from University of Sewing down below if you're interested. So they are selling it at a used price. So if you are in the market for a new sewing machine as we're going into the holiday months maybe, this would be an excellent option because it's lightly used. It's lightly used and it's a really great price. So if you're in the market for something like that. So anyway, I've linked their information down below if you're interested in reaching out to them about prices and in shipping if you're far away and all that jazz, right down below. But yes, it is that time of year and I have really enjoyed working on the machine. It's been a whole lot of fun. Okay, I have my computer in my lap so that I don't miss anything as far as links. But let's talk about holiday sewing. Okay, so these are more some ideas, things to get you inspired. I mean, a lot of you have probably already started your holiday sewing. I have not. I'm actually going to do a separate video on some of my holiday sewing plans because I think everyone that I'm planning on sewing for this year, none of them watch the channel, so we should be good. And I'm not doing a ton of holiday sewing this year. My schedule has just been banana bonkers, and I want to enjoy the holiday season. I do have lists for everyone. I feel like I'm ahead of the game that way. I'm waiting for after Thanksgiving to start doing my shopping when some sales and that kind of stuff come up. But I think I'm doing pretty good with my holiday list on for shopping and like what I want to get people. And I've already started. I have a few gifts already that I have purchased. So I'm feeling, I don't want to jinx anything, but I am feeling pretty good about that. But I am planning on making a couple of items this year, and I'll talk you through those plans a little later. But those are really more specific to the people that I'm giving them to, and it involves like some fitting and stuff like that. These gift ideas we're going to go over a whole bunch of different type of people in your life that you may be sewing for and are a little less I need your measurements type thing. Now there are a couple of them where you're going to need a general idea, but they're a little less I need your measurements, that sort of type of thing as we're going forward. Okay. Why do we sew for our loved ones? Well, we sew for our loved ones because we love them, right? It's just the same as, when you're making a meal for people that you love or a recipe or something that you do it out of love, right? It's a way of showing love, creating something with your hands, giving it to a loved one, whether that be a spouse, a child, a parent, a friend, whatever. That's the way that a great way to show love and a great way to personalize something that you can't necessarily find or buy in the store. So that's kind of why we do what we do. And it's a great time of year, although It's a great time of year to share that gift with others, but I have also been on the hamster wheel of feeling like you need to get, oh, I need to make something for everybody, and then you don't enjoy the holiday season, and that's just not worth it either. So don't try and make everything. Maybe pick out a couple of things that you want to make for people this year, and err on the side of less time so that you have less time, because I'm famous for overcommitting myself on really everything in life, but especially when it comes to like, oh, I can make that up really quick. Well, you have to take into account the printing out of the pattern, taping it together, the cutting the out, all that kind of stuff too. Anyway, so be kind to ourselves, right? But if you are in the mood to do some sewing for your loved ones, I have a great list of options here. Okay, so let's start. One of the most maybe common things to make for loved ones, robes. And I know that can be a little bit boring, but I also think that it could be a lot of fun and you can put a lot of personality for the person into a robe. I mean, everyone needs a good robe and they can be gender neutral. You can make them for adults, you can make them for kids. My first thought with this was the Love Notions Compose robe. Now I've come up with patterns for all of these different categories that I'm talking about, and I've got them linked all down below. But I mean, obviously there's a ton of robe patterns out there. So if you have one that you like better than another, obviously you can use that one. I'm just giving you a general idea. I've made the Love Notions Compose robe. I love it. It's the robe I use every single day. It's a great base. You can make it in knits and in woven. So if you want to do something in a beautiful silk, if you want to get really fancy with someone that you love, but obviously they're forgiving and you don't need like someone's exact size to be able to guesstimate how much, what size you're going to need to make for them. But yes, great for gender neutral, great for men, women, and they also have a composed robe for children as well. And I think kids really enjoy that too, especially when you can do matching. I know that kids really enjoy both matching with parents and also matching with each other. Fleece, waffle knit. I've made mine out of a French terry, sweatshirting, like a sweatshirting, like a fleece on one side, jersey on the other. Again, if you want to do the woven, a beautiful viscose, a beautiful silk, a linen, all beautiful options for robes. And if you want to get really fancy, if you do have a embroidery machine, a monogram is wonderful for the adults in your life. Kids don't get quite as jazzed about that. Patches, you can do some applique patches are really beautiful. Or you could even do some hand embroidery. I think that's really lovely. My mom did some hand embroidery on a pair of jeans for my niece for her birthday this year, which was kind of fun and made it a little bit personalized and a little bit different. Oh, right. Another gender neutral idea. A button-up shirt. Now I know that those can be a little bit more, you need to know size a little bit better and a little bit more fitting and that sort of thing. But if you go for something that's a little bit more oversized and not quite as fitted, such as the Wardrobe by Me tropical shirt. Now this pattern does not have darts, so it makes it a little less wearable for a woman, but there's plenty out there. So I would go with a little bit more oversized, looser fitting. Let's see, I think there's also like Helen's Closet has kind of a more gender neutral button-up shirt. Is it the Gilbert, I think? Anyway, things that you can make with or without darts to get, and a little roomier. So you maybe just need to know if they're a small, medium, large, as opposed to, a size 10 or a size, 18, whatever. But what I love about button-up shirts is that you can make them out of some really fun fabrics that really can personalize it to the person. For instance, there are beautiful quilting cottons out there that, if your person is really into dinosaurs, you can have a dinosaur fabric shirt. In fact, Liberty even has some beautiful cotton lawns that have some more like kitschy things like that, like dinosaurs. And maybe your person isn't into that. Maybe they're into a certain color that you could, personalize. You can also put little monograms on button-up shirts, a la polo, but instead of a polo symbol, you could do something a little bit different. Jenny, for instance, her oldest is down at Alabama and University of Alabama, and their mascot is an elephant. And one of her button-up shirts that I made for her, she's like, "Hey, could we embroider a little elephant, instead of like the polo little symbol there?" And she's like, "It could be my Alabama shirt." I'm like, "Oh, that's such a cute idea and such a fun way to do something that's like spirit wear or something themed or a little bit more whimsical without it being like all over whimsical if you didn't want to wear a shirt with all elephants on it, for instance. Anyway, a lot of great ideas for button-up shirts. Quilting cotton's great. Cotton lawn is really great. Flannel, anything that says cotton shirting. You can even get fancy and go with some rayons, like a rayon challis or a rayon crepe. All of those really work well for button-up shirts too. I've made the Wardrobe by Me Tropical shirt. It's fantastic as a dartless button-up shirt. I've made it for my son. It's a really good pattern. I really like I've not made many Wardrobe by Me, their women's patterns, but I've really been impressed with their men's patterns. I need to try some of their women's. I keep saying that. Okay, another one that's good for some of the adults in your life, I guess, if you're wanting to do some clothing items, is the Itch to Stitch capelet, or Cape Cod capelet. I made this when it was first released. It is knit, and it's got kind of a cowl on it. It's like a poncho capelet type style. It is so easy to make, very quick, like a blank space for any kind of personalization you want to do. I made my sister a cape. It was actually a Vogue cape, but it could be the same thing, and put her monogram on it, and she wore that thing to death. So it's just a good alternative to a jacket, especially with big sleeves being so in right now. You can throw a cape over, like a capelet like that over yourself, still get some of that warmth, but you're not trying to shove the big sleeves into coat sleeves. So just something, I mean, it's not going to be comparable to like a wool coat or a down coat or something if it's super cold, but if you're wanting something for transitional weather, this is fantastic. Again, perfect for any embroidery you want to do. Appliques, it's just an open book, and you can make it in really cozy fabrics such as French terry, some beautiful sweatshirting. We were down at University of Sewing, like I mentioned a couple weeks ago now, and the Stoff knits. I am just such a big fan of the Stoff knits. Just really beautiful, high quality. She had some Stoff sweatshirting that was just lovely. So anyway, a beautiful sweatshirting would also be perfect for something like this. When this pattern came out and I was a tester for it, I made one for myself, one for my mother-in-law, one for my mom. I made a whole bunch for people for Christmas that year. They got worn a ton. So it's a really great pattern. And again, easy to fit because there's no seams. It's just a circle over your head. And they go together so quickly. All right, next, we're going to talk about the kids in your life. I don't do a lot of kids sewing here on the channel. I just don't have a ton of kids that I sew for. But if you do have some little people that you are sewing for this holiday season, I've got some really great alternatives to some of the plastic, loud toys that seem to be everywhere. So if you're wanting to give something that's a little, again, handmade, something a little more minimalist, that requires their imagination a little bit more, I've got some really good ideas here. So the first one, well, this one's kind of an obvious one, but any of the Dolly and Me type of dresses. I made the Love Notions, what is it called? The Love Notions Girl and Doll Pattern Collection. They have a few of their girl patterns that also come with the 18-inch doll size, which is like an American Girl doll size, so that size of doll. And they have a collection of patterns. I think it's 4 different girls patterns that goes with 4 different, or maybe 5, I can't remember now. But I did a whole little capsule wardrobe for my niece. It's so easy. I did 1 top and 2 dresses, and then 3 pairs of leggings. I had 3 fabrics, and I made each legging and each top in each of the 3 fabrics, but they could all mix and match. So I had a solid, I had a small print, and then a bigger print. And all of those could kind of mix and match. You know, it was a solid, and then I think it was a stripe, and then just like a floral print. Because I think a stripe and floral are easy to pattern mix together. And then I made the same thing for her doll. So leggings, and then a top and 2 dresses that matched hers. I totally won her birthday that year. And the stuff is small. It's really easy to make up. Knit, it's just quick to make. And you don't have to make all those pieces. But it was like a little capsule wardrobe for her, and my niece went nuts. I totally won birthday that year, which was a lot of fun. So that's another great option. And earlier this year, just actually like a month or 2 ago, I participated in the Dress-A-Girl, Project Dress-A-Girl, where we send off dresses to help clothe girls overseas that don't have dresses, to give them, yeah, a new garment of clothing. I did a video on that a while back. But one of the free patterns I used was the Oliver and S popover dress. It's just a very simple dress, but it also came with a matching doll dress. So if you're wanting something even free, this is a wonderful one to kind of give it a try and see if if the girl is interested in even dressing with their doll. But these are also great scrap busters because a lot of times, well, all the girl dresses that I made for Project Dress a Girl were all remnants of other projects I'd made. And I bet I had enough like little scrap pieces. Well, maybe not on a couple of them, but if you got a big enough size, I mean, cutting out the doll dresses it's just teeny amount of fabric that's needed. So they're great stash busters as well. Actually, all these like toys I feel like are great stash busters. And while we were researching this, Jenny and I were researching this, I came upon some plush toys, and this one, my son would have gone gaga over this when he was like 4. But I came across this plush tool belt. Like, what? He would have loved that. Something he can wear around his waist. He can pretend like he's using his tools. And that's kind of what, with a more minimalist, you can use scraps for this, but then they're using imagination to play. And, I've seen the little, I didn't find a pattern for it, where you can make like the felt food and stuff that the kids can pretend they're cutting up and stuff like that. So there's a lot of options out there, but this plush tool belt I had to put on here because it was so cute. Another one is toy car mats. This is a great one for traveling. So if you keep something like this in the car, and this particular one even has like a little garage for the toy cars. But if you're, sitting at the tire store waiting for your tires to be, changed, or you have to sit and wait at the doctor's office, whatever it might happen to be, being able to unroll that and let your kid play on the floor, wonderful. Or if a younger sibling is sitting at an older sibling's sporting event. My daughter is constantly being dragged to my son's sporting events, mostly because she just didn't play sports. So she always got drugged to those kind of things. But I think it's great for young kids if you're wanting something to keep them occupied for things like that. All right. Another option for little kids are little toddler backpacks. So cute. There's this, I think it's I don't know if this one's a free pattern. I have a collection. I've got some that are paid patterns on here and some that are free patterns. But a little toddler backpack was so easy to get some fabric that is whatever they're into right now. You can embroider names on the back. You can, do an applique patch on the back, whatever they're into. And then you're set and ready to go. And those are so expensive when you buy those, for their little preschool or parents' day out or whatever the little program is that they're going to, where they just need a few things in their bag. Great for that. Finally, the last thing with little kids is if you have any newborns in your life, anyone that's getting ready to have a baby, that sort of thing, Brindle and Twig is a really great pattern company for kids, but they have some really great newborn stuff. And then, up into toddler, bigger kid stuff too. But what I like about them is that it's very minimalistic and modern, easy to throw together. They have some free patterns over there as well if you wanted to just give them a try. If I were having kids right now, I would be doing their entire wardrobes in Brindle and Twig. I just really think they're really cool patterns. Obviously, I'm out of that kind of stuff now, but definitely take a look if you've got any babies or little people that you're sewing for and you want to do maybe some matching outfits or whatever, that sort of thing, that are comfortable. A lot of knits. Okay, now for the bigger kids in your life. I have a few options. These are like bigger kids / if you're sewing for your friends, maybe. The things that aren't garments. So the first thing I have, the Sarah Kirsten Fennel Fanny Pack. I know fanny pack gets a lot. I know that means different things in different parts of the world, but it's basically a belt bag. I have seen, that's the name of the pattern though, so clearly she's American, I'm assuming. But anyway, I've seen so many creators make this this belt bag pattern, and I would absolutely make this for my daughter. She would be all over it. Any of her friends. I would also make it for my sister. You can do it a solid color, something very minimalist on the outside, but you could put something fun on the inside that's for their personality. For instance, if it were my daughter who's very into art, if I found a quilting cotton with like some really cute art print or whatever, something that only they can see when they're opening up their belt bag. But these are what crossbodies are, what the kids are wearing these days. Again, my sister included, she's not a kid, but definitely a very popular style bag. I also put on here the Noodlehead Sandhill sling bag. Very similar. It's just kind of crossbody. I don't think you wear this one as a belt bag. It gets worn crossbody, but it's just right there. And that's how my sister wears her belt bags, actually, this like crossbody, as do I on occasion. But I think that this is a really cool bag as well. Noodlehead is known for their bag patterns. I don't think I've ever made, I don't do a lot of bag making, but I don't think I've made any of their patterns, but I could be wrong. But I know that they're one of the big hitters in the bag making community. And this is a really cool one and very on trend right now. Also on that, totes. So if you've got, a friend where you're like a reusable grocery bag or a bag for the library, or, I just feel like I'm always using tote bags for, various and sundry odds and ends. But Noodlehead also has the Firefly tote, and actually for the meet and greet, Alice, who works for University of Sewing, made up a sample of this one. It's a great bag. It's got really cool pockets, has like a drawstring top, but it looks like a tote bag. It would be the perfect grocery slash library, slash catch-all type tote bag. Really, really good. Also, there is the So Can She strappy bag, which I'm pretty sure is a free one, but also just a really easy tote bag. You can use scraps. You can personalize it with fabric that means something to that person, whether that's just in the lining, again, embroidering names or initials or whatever it is that you want to do on the front. Really, really cute idea. And then finally, the Sew for Home roll organizer. And I feel like this, I can't remember if this is a free one as well. Now, this is shown with makeup brushes, which would be great for and good for, any friends. However, my daughter has something similar for her colored pencils. My cousin made it for her, and she hand embroidered her name on the front of the roll, but it's perfect. And she just sticks all of her colored pencils in there, rolls up, she's good to go, because she has very expensive colored pencils, because, that's... all of her art supplies are expensive now. But you could do this for a whole bunch of different things. It could be for art brushes. It could be for crayons for a kid or markers for a kid. Again, it could be makeup brushes. It could be all sorts of things. It could be a jewelry roll. You can make those little pockets whatever size you want to fit whatever type of thing you want to fit. It just makes packing those things really easy. So if someone that travels a lot wants to be able to easily pack, whatever it might be, these little roll organizers are wonderful, and again, you can personalize those pretty easily. Okay, next, if you have any makers in your life, male, female, whatever, Helen's Closet has the Sam apron. Alice made one of these up as well for the meet and greet. It's such a good pattern. This is perfect for cooking, for art, for woodworkers, for sewers, for, all sorts of things. Potters, if someone's doing a lot of like clay work, anything where you want to protect the clothing underneath, and that you want to have a lot of pockets in the front. There's a ton of options. It's a free pattern. So if anyone in your life, don't just think apron is for cooking. It can be for any kind of work, that gardening, any kind of work where you're going to want to protect your clothes underneath and where you want access to a lot of little things. Great pattern. You could make it as frou-frou as you want, with fun patterns, or you could make it very minimalist with solids. You could really make it to the person's style, and you don't need to know sizes on that one. Also, sewing in the city. So here's a couple of wrapping options. So one of the things that, my husband's aunt, she did quilts for my kids a couple years ago, and not only did she quilt them, but she also made the gift bags just out of scrap fabric that she put the quilts into, and I just was thinking that's such a smart idea. Number one, it does take some time, obviously, to make them up, but those are reusable for so much longer than even the gift bags you buy, and a ton cheaper. You can use them with scraps that you've got, fabric remnants, then those are going to be able to be reused time and time again. So give them to the person that you want to give them to. You can let them have the bag as well. Or what I would do with my family is just ask that everyone gives them back to me at the end so I can just keep using those same bags every year over and over again. You can make them in different sizes. You can make them all sorts of things. Yeah, it's just a great idea, I think. Also, Sewing in the City has a bow tie tote. If you are on Instagram and if you follow Catherine from Bringing Sewing Back, she made one of these and it was for her Bible study, so she could put like everything in it as a carry-all tote. So cute. I mean, the tote could be, it's a free pattern. It's a really cute tote. That could be part of the gift, and then you just fill it with some like consumables even. So anyway, keep that in mind as well, that the wrapping of the gift could even be the gift. I do that actually with some graduation gifts. I'm a big sucker for the Lands' End canvas totes that, I mean, I have a ton of them. I give them, I think they're just great carry-alls, but something similar. So really the tote's the gift, but then you fill it with some consumables and it makes a really great kind of a gift basket type gift. But yeah, when you want the bag to be the star of the show. So there you have it. Those are hopefully some good inspiration and ideas to get your creative juices flowing if you're wanting to do some sewing and some of your loved ones' lives for holiday gifts this year. Again, I will come back on and do a video, probably, I don't know, maybe in December, of the things that I'm going to be sewing for my loved ones, just to give you a little bit of specific ideas of what I'm going to be sewing in the next few months. And I think maybe end of November. I need to look at my filming schedule and see how that's going to work out. But yeah, I'm going to be doing some sewing, not a ton, and I think it's just for my daughter and sister, to be honest. I don't think I've got anyone else on my list that I want to make stuff for. Again, I just don't want to overcommit myself, but I am going to do a couple of really cool things for those two people, so I will be sharing that with you guys. What else? I have I think I've got a Sew the Look for you on Friday, if I can get my act together and get things finished sewing up, but it's a good one. We're going to be getting into some holiday makes that I'm going to be making. I've got a couple of events. We're going to the theater. We're doing a couple of fun things over the holiday season, aside from just Thanksgiving and then having Christmas, where I want, a nice new dress or whatever. Not really new. In fact, I showed you my Grafton. That's probably going to be my Christmas Day dress. But anyway, some things to wear for the holidays that are comfortable and still feel a little nicer than normal. But yeah, I have a couple of events that I'm going to be attending this holiday season that I want to make some stuff for. So that is fun and exciting, and some Sew the Looks for you all to look forward to. All right, so I think that outfit will be on Friday if I can finish it up. All right, guys, that is all I have for today. Elephant in the room. Thank you for the comments on me wearing my hair curly recently. I am going through some prescription-induced hormonal changes right now. You guys know I deal with autoimmune, and a lot of that has to do, long story short, I have had to be on hormone replacement therapy since I was in my mid-20s. Anyway, they're changing up some things, and it's making my hair be really, really weird. I have a strong wave in my hair. When I went through puberty and when I had my kids, my hair got really curly, and I was able to wear it curly for a while, and then all of a sudden the curl kind of fell out a little bit, and now it really doesn't know what it wants to do. It doesn't really want to be straight right now, but it also doesn't really want to be curly. So I bought some product and trying to work with it. It's very weird right now. So thank you for the kind comments. I am just trying to figure it out at the moment to see if we can make it curly with some product, or if I just need to figure out maybe a different hair. I don't know. It's being very weird. Or maybe it'll even itself out here after a couple of months and go back to normal. Who knows? Who knows? But thank you for the kind comments. I appreciate it as I go through my weird hair phase. Hormones are just so fun, just so great. All right, guys, that is all I have for today. I hope you have a wonderful Tuesday. I hope you get some sewing in this week. That is my plan. And I will see you guys again on Friday. Have a good one. Bye.